Hi guys, my name is Tiffany. Welcome back to my channel. If you're a returning viewer, thank you for returning. If you're new, this is my YouTube channel where I talk about all things fashion, entrepreneurship, and lifestyle. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the different jobs in the fashion industry. So if there's something you're interested in, please keep watching. Okay, job number one, it's one of the obvious, fashion designer. Now, to be a fashion designer, you need to know how to draw, you need to know how to sew, you need to know how to put patterns together. Now, those three things or anything else that's required to be a fashion designer are something you're fully advanced in, or if you don't have that much experience doing, you can always go to school and like really get the education and the practice to do so. I know a lot of the designers who I've met and interacted with, they actually said going to school and get a degree in fashion design has really helped them out and really advanced their career and just made them overall a better designer. So becoming a fashion designer is something you want to do, you have a passion for, but you don't meet all the qualifications. Don't get discouraged. I definitely recommend going to school. There's different schools out there. There's some here in New York, there's some in California, there's some in Paris. I do also believe there's some in London. So just make sure you do your research and figure out what school is best for you and go on to be a good fashion designer. Job number two, of course, another obvious one, you can become a fashion model. Now, I will say from my experience working at the independent fashion magazine, being a model, no one cares about your height, no one cares about your weight. If you can walk and you can pose, you can be a really good model. So just because you aren't 5'10" or you may not be like the average size model for 0 to 2 doesn't mean you can't be a model. Like nowadays people are looking for models for all shapes and sizes, heights, weights. So if you can walk and you can pose, you can be a model. Now, to start modeling, I recommend we definitely take advantage of technology that's here nowadays. Do a YouTube channel of you walking in different hills and different weather settings and different locations and just really showcasing how you can walk. And then I also recommend starting a separate Instagram page of all of your photos. And I'm not taking photos that your friends take of you when you go out to lunch. I'm talking about like real professional photos. So maybe work with a new emerging photographer who's trying to really get their name out there. You guys can probably collaborate and you model for them so they can showcase how well they photograph, and then you get the content that way you can post on Instagram. So network, see who's out there, attend different shows and different events, and you can really meet a lot of people and get your name out there to become a model. Next up is a fashion illustrator. So I have a quick description of this, and then I'm going to tell you guys a little bit more. So a fashion illustrator, you will work closely with fashion designers to discuss their requirements and create conceptual sketches and illustrations of their products. So pretty much what that means is the designer, most designers nowadays don't actually sketch designs themselves. They have a fashion illustrator to do that for them because they have so many other different things to do. So as the fashion illustrator, they'll come to you with like their vision for a new collection, or maybe they may be designing a piece for like a celebrity or someone who's with like a red carpet. So they'll come to you and say, okay, this is my vision. You'll draw it out, and then you and the designer will go to the atelier and start the design process for this new collection or this one piece that they're making. So if you're really good at drawing and you want to get into the fashion industry, that's a great way to combine the two and just become a very successful fashion illustrator. Next up is a fashion editor. So if you watched my how I got into the fashion industry video that I posted maybe about 2 weeks ago, fashion editing, being a fashion editor was something I had mentioned. So as a fashion editor, you'll work for newspapers, magazines, and you can also freelance. So one of the things if you're looking into being a freelance, one you should know about is that you'll be writing for several different print or editorial or online platforms who take fashion articles. And you're really just being your own boss. It's kind of like you're an entrepreneur in a sense. You're freelance, you're working for yourself, you're not really putting into one. You just write what you need, submit it off, and then they post it. Now to be a fashion editor, from quick research from what I did when I was considering it, You can get a degree in business management or whatever it may be, but I recommend doing a little bit more research because it's been some years since I did some research and the criteria may have changed or it may not. But if you want to be a fashion editor, I definitely recommend you do some research and also possibly look to getting an internship at some magazines. Hopefully you had better luck at getting Cosmo and Vogue to answer you than I did, but definitely look into that. um Stylist. So there are different ways you can be a stylist. You can be a celebrity stylist. You can be a TV show or a movie stylist. You can be a personal stylist. So for those people who want to like revamp their wardrobe and just create a new style for them, y'all help them do that. Um, there is editorial, I think I said that, but you can be an editorial stylist, and then there's also a fashion designer stylist. So a fashion designer stylist is someone who actually works for the fashion designer brand, and like whatever content they need for Instagram or for their website, or they have a new collection out, you'll actually style that collection in a way. So you'll gather all the accessories that's needed, all the pieces that's needed, and you'll really put together a nice outfit with each piece for whatever the photo shoot is needed for. So that's one way you can be. Those are the 5 different ways that you can be a stylist. Next up, you can be a merchandiser. So I have another description for you guys. Merchandisers are responsible for ensuring the right products are available in the right stores at the right time, in the right quantities, and set at the appropriate price. They can work in retail stores or for apparel brand at the corporate level. So pretty much what that means is, let's say you work for, I don't know, maybe Forever 21, and they have a new collection coming in. You, as the merchandiser, need to make sure that the collection one arrives on time. So if it's for fall, winter, most collections are arriving in stores by I want to say late July, early August. It's been a while since I looked into that, but I think that's probably around the time the fall and winter pieces are arriving at stores. So one, you want to make sure the quantity is correct. So if you're expecting to get 125 pieces, but only 100 arrived, whoever was in charge of ordering this collection, you have to then go back to them and say, hey, we're missing 25 more pieces. Let's figure this out. Then you want to make sure everything is priced correctly. So if something's $1,000, you don't want it to be set for 900, and then you guys like lost money because it's supposed to be $1,000. You only sold it for 900. So that's another thing. And I think that's it. And then you're pretty much just going to be in charge of, making sure it's displayed correctly, the mannequin looks good, and at the right location of the store. So this new collection is supposed to be at the front of the store. So when customers walk in, they immediately see it. You and the retail team are responsible for making sure that it gets displayed correctly and in a nice way so customers are attracted to it. A retail buyer. Now, as a retail buyer, you would be the one in charge of buying the new collections for the store. So let's say you work for Bloomingdale's and Gucci has a new collection out. So you'll go to like their trade show, or maybe you'll go to their headquarters. You'll view the new collection and you'll say, okay, my budget is $125,000, and you'll scan the collection and you order the amount and quantity of each piece that goes up to your budget for that particular brand. I know budgets are set differently depending on the department store, so it may either be $125,000 overall or just for this particular brand. So you'll order what you need based on your budget, and then it goes to the store. So I know as a retail buyer, you're traveling a lot, you're viewing a lot of different collections. I know one particular trade show that happens all the time is one in Paris called Trinoy. So a lot of designers go there and they meet with so many different buyers from like top department stores to like small mom and pops, and they'll just really connect with the buyer and get their collection in there. So fair warning, if you become a retail buyer, you'll be traveling a lot because you're going to be going to a lot of different trade shows: New York, Paris, London, you name it. Whatever the trade show is, most likely you'll be going there. Public relations specialist, this is what I do. So you'll be working with the brand to get their name out there, to grow and really just get people to know who this brand is. So what I do is I work as in a PR showroom. I mentioned this in my previous video, but a little recap. I work in a PR showroom, and I have stylists and influencers come into the showroom by appointment, and they view the new samples that we get from our designers. They pull it for whatever photo shoot they have, and then they return it. So that's one way you can do PR. You can work at a PR agency, or you can possibly work for a brand itself. So going back to like maybe Vera Wang, if you work for Vera Wang in the PR department, you'll pitch to her, to the fashion editors, what new collection she has, or maybe even an event that she's doing, or a fashion show. So whatever's going on with that brand, as the PR person, you are in charge of spreading the word about whatever it is that's going on, and just overall about the brand in general. Next up will be fashion coordinator. I did touch a little bit about this in my fashion career video. So as a fashion coordinator, you are the one who's in charge of putting together the fashion shows, or again, any fashion event that's taking place for that brand or for a company, whatever it may be. So let's say, going back to Real Wang, she's doing a fashion show. As the coordinator, you are the one in charge of helping find the models, any vendors like food vendor or drink vendor, sponsors. If she wants someone who's going to be like doing the announcing constantly, you'll help find that. DJ, whether she wants a live band or a DJ, or maybe just have playlists plugged up to speakers, whatever it is that's going on for this event or this show, you are 100% in charge of putting it together and making sure it goes smoothly. So that's if you prefer to be behind the scenes like I do, that's something you could definitely look into, because I like being behind the scenes. I like doing the running around, make sure everything's good and in order. So if you love doing that, I definitely recommend looking into becoming a fashion coordinator, because you can be behind the scenes, you can really just show your true work ethic. And I must say, to myself, it's a really good exercise, because you'll be doing a lot of running around. But again, it's something you can look into. And lastly, as we all know, you can be a sales associate. So the sales associate helps customers find the right product for them, complete transaction, restock merchandise, and maintain a neat appearance in a retail store. So yeah, and that was the last one. Okay, so yeah, being a sales associate. So just a quick recap of the different jobs that you can do. You can be a fashion designer, you can be a fashion model, a fashion illustrator, fashion editor, a stylist, a merchandiser, a retail buyer, a public relations specialist, fashion coordinator, and you can be a sales associate. So if any of these things really pique your interest, one, I'll in the description box below, I'll have a quick description of each job, and plus I also recommend you do more research thoroughly, just to figure out like how you can really get into that part of the fashion industry, because some of these I don't have too much knowledge on. So I would definitely recommend doing your research, and also networking. Let's say if you want to be a fashion illustrator, and you follow like 2 or 3 fashion illustrators on Instagram, I definitely recommend possibly reaching out to them and saying, hey, I love your work. I would love to like be an assistant or an intern to you, to figure out the ropes and how I can do this myself. Social media these days has definitely made it easier for us to coordinate and network with people. So network. That's one of the main things about being in the fashion industry, is you're always networking, you're always connecting with different people. So I highly recommend doing that. But that is it. If you guys have any questions or concerns about any more of these, I'll be happy to do like another video, or you can write me separately on Instagram. Here's my Instagram handle, and I'll be happy to explain a little bit more. And if you guys have any other video suggestions, please feel free to comment them down below, or write me on Instagram, and I'll be sure to put that on a list of different videos. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and please stay tuned for more. Bye.